Hello, housemates, and welcome back to Planescape Torment on the River Lethe. Let's see, what do we have to do today? We got all the stuff for finding Farid. Yeah, we're trying to go up a level so I can up my dexterity by 1 point. Because you need 13 dex, I believe, to interact with the various pickpockets in a way which is fully satisfying. So you can, of course, notice that they're pickpocketing you and bait them into doing it for some XP to observe their technique with sufficient wisdom.
Right.
But if you want to get your money back and interact with them without having to kill them, you also need to be sufficiently dexterous and I think charismatic. Because they have to believe you're if you bluff that you're going to kill them. Yeah. Right now I'm going to go talk to Mar about the box, Morador's box, which we have finally dealt with. Now we're going to ask him why he tried to kill us with a cursed box. First we're going to mess up some thugs. So you meet him originally down at this building, and then he goes up into this little arch. He can be a little bit hard to see. Mar's eyes take on a wild look as he sees you approaching. In a high, screeching voice, he asks, "What are you doing back here? Don't come back till you deliver the box." I got rid of the box. It does me heart good to hear you say that, but before you kills me for the horrible deed of tricking you into taking that box, please try and let me explain. I'm listening. Explain yourself. The long and the short of it be that the box has been around as long as anyone can remembers. Chant is some folks were fighting, and when they was done, a huge demon was imprisoned in that box. Other folks say an evil wizard made it just for seeing others suffer. No one rightly knows what the truth behind the box be, but the owner of the box will die should it be opened. Why didn't the owner of the box just put it where no one could find it? It seems it should have been as simple as that, but who among us could live with a death sentence lingering over their head? 'Twould drive any man over the edge, having to worry about the whereabouts of that damnable box all the time. Why me? First, I haven't seen you around before. You sees, I needed a clueless Burke such as yourself to accept the box and become the new owner. Everyone's around here knows not to take the box, not for any price. Secondly, if you didn't examine the box when you had it, you wouldn't have noticed that whatever magics were in place were weakening. With me being the current owner and all, you can see I needed to pass it on right quickly. Besides, if anyone looked ready to pass on to the next realm, it was ye. You want to talk about passing on to the next realm? Keep talking and you'll find out about it. Obviously I picked a cutter of no small means. Surely this has been but a minor inconvenience to one such as ye. I offer you this weapon and some jink to line your purse as a reward for your troubles. 'Tis all I own, and coincidentally, 'twas what the rat Quatra used to get me to take possession of the box. Give me my reward and leave me.
Updated my journal.
So you can of course also kill him if you so please.
Worst place we can be in Sigil at the worst time.
We get this axe. Wait, is that the axe we got? Yeah, we get an axe and some money. It's not great. But whatever. Let's see, we still need about 5,000 XP to go up a level.
I'm gone.
Let's see. Track down, talk to, find the source. Yeah, there's not much for it. We're just going to start interacting with some of these pickpockets. And, we might not get everything out of it that we could, but oh well. Alright, so let's go back this way to where Ashmantle is.
I'm gone.
Oh, you want to die? I'll take a little bit of XP from you, thug. Yeah, you did now. I guess we should pick up the stuff that they leave. Such a hassle to tote around all these trinkets until you can find a place that will sell them. But I guess they'll be worth about 40 or so coins each, so it's not so bad. I don't have space for that. Alright, let's just go. Alright, now let's go talk to Ashmantle.
Alright.
Oh, I can't go that far up. Sometimes the maps can be a little bit deceiving as to where you can actually go and where you can't.
I'm gone.
Alright, Ashmantle. There you are. So it's a good idea to quick save before you come on, man. Before you talk to anyone. In case you accidentally click on something that forecloses upon a dialogue option or a quest option that you were aiming for. I mean, you could just play organically and deal with it, but that's not how we're going to do this. I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to make that kind of mistake. You see a pale-faced dustman in long black robes. Unlike the dustman you saw in the mortuary, however, this man looks confused and is glancing about, as if looking for something. When he spots you, he raises his hand to attract your attention. Greetings. The man seems relieved that you are speaking to him. He bows slightly. Thank you for hearing me, traveler. I am known as Ashmantle, one of the Dustman sect. I was wondering if you could direct me. I don't know the area very well, and I'm looking for a certain establishment, a bar, that those of my sect frequent. Do you know of such a place? So let's play along with it. Oh, the Dustman bar. It's by... No, wait. Let's go. Sect. You're a Dustman. Don't you mean faction? The Dustman nods. Well, yes, faction. I meant faction. Sect, faction. They're much the same thing, really. Do you happen to know of this bar that my faction frequents? The bar you want is by the mortuary. Orient yourself by the mortuary front gate, then walk directly southwest. You can't miss it. The Dustman smiles. Thank you very much, traveler. I appreciate your kindness. The people of the Hive are rarely helpful in such matters. Not a problem. Farewell, Ashmantle. The Dustman nods and gives a final bow. Thank you for your time. You would have missed it if you hadn't been warned about a Dustman pickpocket, but during one of his low bows, you see Ashmantle's hand dart out to your purse. Allow Ashmantle to pick your pocket and observe his technique. See, that gets you 1250 XP, which is pretty good. Under the guise of giving him additional directions to places in the Hive, you engage Ashmantle in light conversation and secretly study his movements. Ashmantle seems to rely primarily on his Dustman facade to disarm his victim and uses his frequent bowing motions to cover his pickpocketing attempts. You make a mental note of this technique, just as he makes another attempt to reach into your purse. So usually the way I like to resolve these is to grab his hand and then, browbeat them. I'm not sure that's going to work because I don't know if my dexterity is high enough. So let's find out. Your hand snaps out, but Ashmantle draws back suddenly and you miss grabbing his wrist. You see his Dustman facade crumple. With a frightened look, he runs off. And so at this point, you're kind of, oh, he took one shot and went down like a chump. Alright, so, that does solve our problem.
Alright.
And hopefully, there are, I think we already dealt with another one of these too, the Drunk Harlot. I think, again, because of our low dexterity, she's in this area of the Hive. We were forced to kill her as well. So, there are some interactions. Interactions require a different variety of stats. And they're fairly intuitive. If you're grabbing somebody, you need dexterity. If you're convincing somebody, you need charisma. If you're figuring something out, you need intelligence. If you're observing something, you need wisdom. Alright, so let's talk to Naroch. We have now dealt with You see Naroch. He is pulling at one of his spikes of hair and using it to scratch a spot on his face. You can't help but think he'd look a lot better with dreadlocks. That's something I almost never think. Alright. I found the not Dustman. He's too busy being dead to pickpocket anyone again.
Updated my journal.
Naroch's lines of worry smooth out as you speak. Oh, that's right. This is the guy that talks like Yoda. Thanks, giveaway. He reaches into his robes and draws forth a small bag, which he hands to you. Copper coin, 100. Thanks. Glad I could help. Farewell. And now we should go talk to Emmerich, because our task was to help Naroch. You see Emmerich. He is regarding you with a stony gaze. I spoke with Naroch and did as he asked. Emmerich nods. You have done as I asked. Do you wish to continue with your initiation? Yes, I am still not certain my beliefs are those of a dustman, but I would like to see more of the faction before making a final decision. I have another test. Seek one of our initiates awaiting death. He is here in the bar. He reaches for the true death out of passion. If he persists, it shall remain forever out of reach. Speak with him and see if he can be helped. So we already did that earlier. I already spoke to him about it. I would know what you spoke of. He has chosen life over death, for now. I would know your thoughts on awaiting death's choice. He is not a dustman, perhaps in time. You spoke with the initiate awaiting death. Your thoughts on the initiate awaiting death are known to me. You have done as I asked. Emmerich nods. I have another test. There is another I wish you to speak to here at the bar. Her name is Saer. Saer is an initiate of the Fifth Circle. Emmerich falls silent for a moment. She no longer holds the Dustman teachings as she once did. Her heart is bitter. One would know why. And we already did that too. So, if you're doing this, like, efficiently, I guess, you can come in here and you can do a bunch of these all in a clump. We've sort of spread them out a bit. But it doesn't matter that much. You don't foreclose on the possibility of doing the tasks for your Dustman initiation by doing them before you talk to Emmerich, so don't worry about that. I already spoke to her. The fever she was stricken with a half-month ago has made her afraid of death. She blames the Dustman. I would know what you said to her. I told her that her fear and doubt has defined her. She is not a Dustman. You have done as I asked, Emmerich nods. Do you wish to continue with your initiation? Yes, there is more I would learn about the Dustman faction. I wish to continue with the tests. An initiate of the Fifth Circle, how did I pronounce that before? Soigo? Has undertaken missionary service for the Dustman. Emmerich falls silent for a moment. You don't know whether he's trying to make a point or whether he's confused. His path is not one known to me, nor to the faction. I would know his whereabouts. Isn't Soigo at the mortuary? No longer. His departure was sudden. Alright, I'll go look for him then. Farewell. Alright, so that is something that we won't be able to resolve for quite some time.
Done.
So there's no point in going looking for him now because we will not be able to find him in any of the areas to which we have access. Let me go in the barrel. Nothing good there. Alright, so now there's nothing to be done except to go to Rag Picker's Square and deal with Farid. So we want to go here. And of course, we've already been to Rag Picker Square and done a little bit there. But I don't believe we've spoken with Sharegrave yet. And there's another, so how much XP do I need now? 3,000. There's another pickpocket right here that we can deal with. Did we already do this up here?
I'm gone.
I think so.
Locked.
That's right. So that was
I'm
the
gone.
place where we got
All right.
trapped and ambushed in the portal house.
I'm gone.
Let's go up here.
I'm gone.
Come on. All right, here's Carver.
This is probably the
So
worst place
he
we
is
can be in
originally
single at
named
the worst time.
Ratbone in the base game. He's changed to Carver because there's another character named Ratbone that's part of a quest which is restored in this version of the game or something to that effect. So that'll be something that I'm not exactly... There's a piece of the game that I'm not totally familiar with. But let's go ahead and talk to him. This man is whistling a cheerful tune and playing with a well-kept fighting knife. As you approach him, he stops whistling and gives a curious look. What you want? I had some questions. My name's Carver, Cutter. I'm a thief for hire in the employ of Sharegrave, the boss of the collectors you see round this square. He pays me mostly to learn his lads to be real quiet-like, and how to fight if they runs into a spot of trouble. That's likely the only questions I'll answer for you, Cutter. He sniffs and shrugs. Thief for hire. We could be trained here. So getting trained into another class, so we were a fighter for a while. Getting trained into thief really doesn't help you at all. There's not a great deal of benefit to attempting to multi-class as the nameless one. I mean, you can't do it, strictly speaking. What you will retain from one class to the next are very limited things. You retain your hit points. So for instance, we got fighter hit points for a number of levels. So that will serve us throughout the rest of the game. You might be able to keep, if you went and trained in some thiefliness, some of your thief skills, and perhaps you'd be able to pick pockets and such, but you wouldn't be very good at it. And likewise, training as a mage, you only get the primary benefit of being a mage, namely extra spell slots and the ability to cast higher level spells by progressing in mage. So you really do need to pick a particular class and pretty much stick with it throughout the entire game. There are specializations that you get at 7 and 12 where you get a bonus to some of your attributes. It's strength and constitution for the fighter, I think dexterity and charisma, or just dexterity for the rogue. And for the mage, it's wisdom and intelligence, which are, of course, the most important in the game. So mage lends itself to being one of the best classes to play through as. You can do it as any class. But the point is, there's really no point in training as a thief. You do get experience, but it's experience towards being a thief. It will not help me at all to go forward as a mage, which is what I'm looking to do. Okay, I'm looking for a man named Farad. Do you know where he is? Carver shakes his head. Nah, I don't. This accent. He's nearby, though. Some of his lads have been running through at times, making for some hidey hole that who's know where. Somewhere up around those elevated platforms, I'll bet, but it's none of my business. He shrugs and spits on the ground. Live and let live, says Carver. Okay. Where's your boss? Sharegrave? He nods toward the large, dilapidated house beside him. Careful, though, Cutter. He don't like visitors. He's right suspicious of everyone. Sharegrave's not even his real name. Just what me and some of the others call him. All right. That's all I wish to know. Farewell. Let's go inside. We're going inside primarily because you can get just a quest from Sharegrave here. Tall and lanky, this pale, grim-looking man exudes authority despite his gangly and somewhat awkward frame. A good portion of his left ear is missing. What little that's left is a ragged mess of scar tissue, as if the ear was bitten rather than cut off. His narrow, shifting eyes, almost mere slits, look clever and dangerous. Would you be Sharegrave? He spits out a reply. I don't know you, Burke. He glares at you. Who are you to be asking about some Sharegrave, Cutter? A man called Pox referred me to Sharegrave. I was told he might know the location of someone named Farad. The tension in the room suddenly rises. Now, what a funny thing to be asking about. What do you want to know about Old Blood Ferret for? He stole something from me, and I want it back. The man is silent for a moment, then cracks a smile. He steals from us all, doesn't he? Whether we're living or dead. He chuckles. What do you mean? Our main source of living around here is the dead. You follow? You're a collector. Aye, that's right. He looks at you as if he's considering something. Now, there's only so many debtors at any one time. My bloods and I can only gather so many. If someone else is gathering debtors, that's much less jink that goes into our pockets. Ferret is taking bodies too? Aye. So...
Updated my journal.
The rub is that he's found a mother load of them. Now, I haven't heard of any massacres in Sigil. He frowns, tapping at his chin. So, I'm quite interested in knowing where all the debtors are coming from. I could find out for you, if you'd like. Oh, aye. And how would you do that? All I need to do is find him. Let me worry about the rest.
Updated my journal.
You got it. I'll even give you 100 copper commons for your trouble. Go up on the platforms, follow them to the north and west, and you'll come to a gate that leads you to Ferret's bolt hole. Getting in, getting the information is your deal, and if anyone asks, you don't know me, and we never had this talk. Here? Of course. Farewell. Now, this is one of the few instances of the game where they're like, stop talking to me, and if you don't stop talking to them, they will attack you. So,
All right.
Be aware of that.
All right.
Let's see. You can forego a little bit of running back and forth if you already have the key to the portal.
All right.
'Cause we're going up towards the portal, and the portal, the key is a piece of junk. Like, literally, junk, this. And so if you don't have it, you'll have to go ask people, oh, how do I get into this thing up there? I found the archway, and,
I'm gone.
you'd have to talk to, like, 3 people. I don't think you get any XP for it, so it's not really worth doing. So,
All right.
you can just carry a piece of junk with you to begin with. And here we go. This archway leads only inches into a small building before being blocked by a solid wall of refuse. The rubbish is packed so tightly, it may as well be stones and mortar. As you come closer, however, the archway's outline begins to shimmer. You notice the handful of junk you've been carrying about begins to shimmer as well. And then, of course, one of the great sentences that you can select as a reply here, thrust the junk into the archway. So, thrust your junk into the archway. Go! The wall of refuse flickers, wavers, and seems to fold in on itself, revealing an open space beyond it. A passage or portal seems to have formed within the frame of the archway. See, thrusting your junk randomly at things can sometimes accomplish great deeds. Who are you? You're just a collector. Okay, and it's just going to spit us out right over there, but you can't get there otherwise. And then you just go to this door. And we're in the buried village, or near there. His name is Anomaly. A ragged, middle-aged collector approaches you as you enter the area. He quickly looks you over and then sneers. Don't know you. Just passing through. The collector continues to glare at you. I'm looking for a man named Ferret. What you're looking for is no concern of mine, Burke. He spits. What is concerning me is that you're still breathing in my presence. Collecting bodies before they're dead sounds like a really good way to meet the lady. You seem to talk some sense into the collector as he turns away from you. Watch your back, Cutter. Most here'll talk to you with their blade before their bone box. And if you stay much longer, I'll be doing the same. I think he will also attack you if you talk to him again. So,
Done.
there's a lot of random stuff to do here before you get to the buried village. Some garbagey loot. Let's put some things in our quick bar. Dirty rat charms are practically useless in this game. But bandages, however, you need lots of healing items. All right. Explore around here.
All right.
I think this is a piece of junk on the ground. Yeah.
Done.
You will have to do some fighting here. No two ways about it. Here's some dudes. Trash warrens, thugs. Morty, you're not doing anything.
True. Wounded.
Ugh. God. I'm not particularly fond of the combat in this game. So, you know, for instance, being a fighter character is committing yourself to like using the least entertaining part of the game. I mean, being a rogue, of course, thief. Now the nameless one is not doing anything. Hey! Stop being so useless. God, Jacket, you suck.
Damn.
Some legendary warrior you are. I mean, and his armor class is 2. I don't know why he's getting hit so much. I sincerely doubt that 35 XP thugs have really good THAC0. Alright, whatever. Losers.
Done.
So, being a mage, I mean, the spells are fun because, you know, they just have these weird effects on them. They have all sorts of varied animations, and so it's fun to get to see all those. This guy's going to summon a bunch of dudes. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who we are. You just got jacked up by a dude in dirty robes, Dakon. You were useless. Alright, let's see here. Maybe we'll have to waste some spells on these guys. Alright. We don't have great spells yet at the moment. Now keep in mind, spellcasting does take a little bit of time, and you can be interrupted. So you want to keep a little distance between yourself and your targets, so that you can actually get the spells off. You can see that did not work terribly. I mean, it did something. And here's a bunch of thugs. So, I mean, always when there's a lot of people, you run the risk of, you know, just by weight of fire, so to speak, getting torn up. And these guys are, some of them, a little bit tougher than the others. Lots of useless flailing going on. It's like a slap fight. It's best ignore people once they turn yellow if there are others, because they won't attack you. They'll just like freeze or run away, unless it says berserk. And then sometimes they'll attack their friends. 25 XP. Alright, most of them just left piles of copper, so we don't need to worry about inventory space. Just pick up some money.
Done.
There's not a great deal you need to buy in this game, or not in terms of equipment. There is a bunch of stuff to buy that can, some quests, side quests, can only be finished if you buy certain things.
I'm gone.
So keep that in mind. Keep some money around for that kind of purpose. And if you're a warrior, you may need. We need to pick up that cranium rat charm. If you're a warrior, you will need some equipment. You will have to buy some stuff depending on what type of weapon you want to focus on. And probably as a thief, there is some equipment that you might want. But as a mage, you might buy spells, like scrolls, and then learn them. But those generally aren't that expensive, and you don't do it that often.
Done.
So it's strangely pretty low cost. to be a mage. Alright. She's going to lead us to a bunch of buried villagers. Collectors are going to attack us. Let's see if we can thin them out a little bit.
Endure. In enduring, grow strong.
Yeah, your spells will get better. Hey. No, all of you. Dakin, you're so terrible. Nameless one, and then Dakon, the useless one. I mean, I can raise him from the dead. Not going to help because he'll have 1 hit point and he'll just die immediately. Alright. Do you yet, Morte, have
What's up?
your other special ability? No, you still just have a litany of curses. Not that helpful at the moment. Seriously? I just got dealt 10 damage by a villager. Now, one thing, if you find the damage numbers are too high, you can adjust the difficulty. All that the difficulty adjustment does is change the amount of damage that you take from the enemies. There are a couple of fights where
You see that?
it might be worth doing that. Because otherwise they're just incredibly frustrating.
I'm gone.
Oh, that's Dakon. That's why there's a whole pile there. Yes, and so when people die, unless it's the nameless one, they do drop their inventory. So you have to be very aware of that. Moreover, you don't have to be right where they were to raise them. You can raise them, you can like run across the map and then raise their body. But of course, then you will have left all their stuff behind. So you have to keep that in mind. It can be very obnoxious in certain dungeons. You can lose items permanently if you're not careful. Alright, so Dakon, get your shit together. Literally. No.
Your path is mine.
Just pick up all that garbage that's making you carry so we can sell it. So if right here there is a portal
All right.
to a little room, Dakon
gone.
is in such bad shape that I don't really want to do that. I want to rest first.
I'm gone.
I'm trying to avoid
All right.
further combat and then clear this out later. I think I'm going the right way, yes. Bish. As you enter the room, a large, heavy-set man gets up from his chair and approaches you. "'Lo there, name's Bish. Who might you be?" Lie. My name is Adan. "And what?" Bish stares at you blankly, then shakes his head violently. "I never seen you before, and Farah didn't tell me about no Adan coming round." You notice his hand slowly moving towards his weapon. "You best be telling me what you're doing here, Burke." Perhaps Farad's confidence in you does not extend as far as you might think. Bish snorts at you. "Well, you tell him that he'd best be readjusting those thoughts if he expects me and my men to keep watch over this bleeding sinkhole." He sheathes his weapon and motions at the trapdoor located on the floor. "On with you." You can, of course, kill those dudes. We are A, not in a position to do that in terms of health, and B, I'm almost certain you get more XP by convincing him than killing all those dudes who are worth like maybe 250 or something.
Done.
Maybe not quite. Maybe you get more, but it's not worth it. Alright, so
All right.
now here we are in the buried village. We're going to go here to Marta the seamstress because she can help us with our health. But first, we're going to have a little fun. This tub is filled with a mess of rotting body parts. They all look picked clean. You see a blockish woman dressed in a heavy burlap robe. She lumbers about the room, her joints popping as she bends over to pick up objects from various tables. Her hair is bound back from her head with a bone hairpin. She has a sour, curd-faced expression. She is mumbling to herself in a sing-song voice. Greetings. The woman doesn't appear to hear you. Instead, she stumbles back to one of the long tables and begins picking at one of the corpses. Come on now. She clicks her teeth. Don't be all a difficult on Marta. He's being difficult, isn't he, Marta? Yes, he is. Watch what she's doing. From what you can see, it looks like she's digging teeth out of a corpse's mouth, with only her hands and fingernails. When that doesn't work, she pulls out a splintered wooden chisel and a mallet and thwacks on the gums until the tooth snaps free, and then puts it into a bag at her waist. What are you doing? Marta leaps away from the corpse, startled, and gives a piercing shriek. Ah! She catches her breath, then hisses angrily at the corpse on the table. If ye dead were not, ye might have said something earlier, false corpse, nasty corpse, yes. Haves you no shame? Throw voice. You are the one who should be shamed, knocking out my teeth like that. Have you no respect for the dead? Ha! Marta puts her hands on her hips and puffs up indignantly. Likes you cared for your teeth, all rotted and scored, syrup brown. Wonders they hadn't plopped out of your own bone box. She scratches her head. Isn't that right, Marta? Aye, all rotten gone they are. Ooh, you will be punished for your evil teeth-taking, Marta. I shall haunt you until the end of your days. Ha! You hear this, Marta, do yous? Marta's face scrunches up like a wrung rag. I hears it, Marta, I hears it. With a grunt, she starts pounding on the corpse with her fists, making meaty thwacks with every hit. Haunt me, will you? Take this, and this. Through a voice. Oh, stop, stop. I will haunt you no longer. Forgive me. Damnable debtors. Marta takes a deep breath and lets the chisel fall to her side. That's more like it, eh, Marta? Yes, yes. Corpse quiet, yes. I'm the one who spoke, not the corpse. Marta squints and turns. Eh? How'd you get over there so fastest? She mumbles to herself. Marta, how did he do that? No glimmer, no glimmer. This gravebait's blind and near deaf. Marta is still mumbling to herself, something about corpses, gratitude, which you don't quite catch. Who are you?
Updated my journal.
Marta. Did's the one asks who I was? Aye, he did. She starts humming. Nobody but mine I am, Marta. Marta the seamstress. Marta the seamstress. Marta the seamstress. She turns away, back to the corpse, singing her name to herself. What are you doing? Marta turns back to the corpse with a huff. I'm trying to get this Burke to give up his stitchies and teethies, and he isn't recuperating. No. She wags her finger as if lecturing a small child. Stubborn as stone, isn't he, Marta? She pouts. Yes, he is. Stitchies and teethies? What are you talking about? Gotta pulls the stitchies out, the teethies. Marta, perhaps you could give me a hand. I have been giving you a hand, old baddie. No need to take that tone with me. Pulling out the stitchies and teethies, yes, and the thingies inside. Thingies inside? I think she means organs. I hope she means organs. Thingies. Morde turns to Marta. Yeah, thingies. He then turns to you. It's all semantics. Marta, why are you pulling out the corpse's teeth and stitches?
Updated my journal.
Put 'em aside, Marta. That's what I does here. She scratches her head. Aye, Marta, we do. Stitchy thread and teethies are precious, can be turned into jink. Strip the corpses and we bring to you, they tell Marta. Pull out the teethies, stitchies, thingies inside the corpse, strip 'em cold, and then we'll send 'em to the dusties. Who tells you to do this? Fat-faced gimme pig Quint, and the other crutch hobble crutch Farad. Isn't that right, Marta? She gives a queer smile and nods. Aye, it is Marta. Farad? Where is he? Marta shrugs. Where's Farad, this one asks. He hears, Marta. He's here, Marta, isn't he? She nods. Aye, Farad is here's, Marta. One of the buildings here he is in. What do you do with the things you dig out of the corpses? Sell for shinies. I see. Can I ask you some other questions? Did the one say questions, Marta? Marta blinks, then frowns. Aye, Marta. He said such, for he wears the askin look on him he does. So, here's a question that would, of course, naturally occur to anyone watching someone do rugged, like, you know, redneck autopsies. Can you dig in my body to find anything? Marta squints at you. Then nods. Marta can do that, can't you, Marta? Yes, you can. I am not gonna watch this. Where? Where? Marta is studying you, as if looking for the best place to crack you open. So, you might be wondering, what is this apropos of? It's apropos of nothing at this point in time. Later on, you will get a clue from something that we'll do that tells you that there is something to be gained from doing this, right? That's really a long time in the future. I'm going to go ahead and do it now, just so I can, you know, read these dialogues of you being chopped to bits, so that we don't have to come back here and do it later. And I'll flag up the place that relates back to this, so that you can see how you would naturally come about doing this little set of operations here. All right, crack open my skull, if you would. You lie upon the table, and the last thing you see is Marta standing over you, chisel and mallet at the ready. There is a sharp crack, and you scream as everything goes black. Fall into darkness.
Updated my journal.
Your vision slowly returns to see Marta standing over you, shaking her head. Nothing found, eh? Nothing found, eh, Marta? She shakes. No, nothing, Marta. No luck. Should we try again? So they cracked open your head and didn't find anything interesting. Let's try this stomach, shall we? You lie upon the table, and Marta stands over you, a rusty knife at the ready. There is a stabbing pain as she slices into your abdomen, then cuts brutally downward in a saw-like motion, exposing your innards. Despite the pain, you watch in morbid fascination as she lifts up your stomach. Your vision slowly returns to see Marta standing over you, shaking your head. Nothing found. No luck. Should we try again? How about my rib cage? You lie upon the table, and Marta stands over you, a chisel and mallet at the ready. There is a sharp crack as she splits your rib cage open, and you choke back your screams as she begins to fish in your lungs. As you try and gasp for air, you go numb, then black out from the pain. Your vision slowly returns. No luck, Marta. No luck, Marta. Should we try again? Check the intestines. Anything could be lodged in there. Why? What do you eat, dude? You lie upon the table, and Marta stands over you, a rusty knife at the ready. There is a stabbing pain. She slices into your abdomen, then cuts brutally downwards in a saw-like motion, exposing your innards. You watch in silent, morbid fascination as she plunders your organs, humming to herself. Ah! There is a wrenching pain as Marta lifts up the ropey mass of your intestines, blood and other fluids streaming from it. Look at this, Marta. Look at this. I see. Cut there. Cut there. Marta makes a small, deft incision in the side of one of the intestines, and you hear a ting as something small and metallic strikes the floor.
I couldn't carry anymore, so I had to drop it.
Marta then dumps the soupy mass back into your torso, reaches down, picks up the object, a ring it appears, and flicks it to you. Pretty, eh, Marta? She nods. Yes, Marta. One shouldn't swallow such a thing. No. Thanks. Is there anything else? Marta shakes her head. Nothing more. Eh, Marta? Should we try someplace else, Marta? So, we've already had all of the options there, so no reason to do that anymore. Can I rest here? Marta nods. Marta home. Marta sleep here. You can sleep if and you wants. I don't think Marta has a problem. Does you, Marta? She shakes her head. No, Marta. I doesn't if you doesn't. Very well. So we're resting. we dropped some stuff on the floor. It would not be incorrect to say that we dropped shit on the floor. Those are our intestines. So why do I care about that? Let's put on this. No, we already have 2 rings on. Let's put this here. Why would I keep my intestines? Because we can make nice squishy noises with them. This ropey mass of bloody intestines appears to be yours. You have to admit, it makes you uncomfortable to see them on the outside of your body. Why keep them? I'm not going to tell you why. Just do it. You will want them at a later point in the game, so don't throw away your intestines. Doesn't seem like advice I should have to give you, but there it is nonetheless. Alright, we've gotten our spells back. Dakon is now slightly less weak and frail than he used to be. We're going to cut this episode off here. Next time, we're going to go back into the Trash Warrens, and we are going to go to the portal that I indicated. That's why I said we needed to pick up that cranium rat charm from that crate. It is the key to the portal into which we will delve and see what is on the other side. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. If you would like to see more of Planescape Torment or of any of the other things that I do, then please subscribe to my channel. And of course, if you're not going to do either of those things, then I don't care what you do.